It's Jeroslyn Jovan with Black Enterprise, here with the lead star of the new film, The System, a movie that highlights how behind bars there is no mercy. Our guest is highly decorated and celebrated for his talented contributions to the culture. Join me in giving a warm welcome to Tyrese Gibson. How are you, Tyrese?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, of course. I got to see the film. We're seeing you in a way we've never, I mean, we've seen you. You've done action roles. It's not new, but the grit and the seriousness of each scene and the fight scenes, we haven't seen you like this before. What was it like doing this role and preparing for it?
Uh, it was uncomfortable. And we shot it in an active prison, real inmates in Mississippi. They were literally moving inmates out of prisons, out of their jail cells. They were cleaning them up, and then we would go in there and use that same jail smell, the smells, jail cell, the smells, the energy, the kind of suppressive, depressive energy of just knowing that, yeah, we're there to act and we get to go home every night. And they were in there, sleeping in there. It was just crazy to experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so with the film, what would you say is the central theme of the system as it even relates to issues of mass incarceration in America?
Well, so that's the motivation of me doing the movie, to shed light on what's obviously going on. It just hurts to know that Black and brown people take up the majority of modern day slavery, and then these privately owned prisons make it worse because they don't necessarily have to stick to the way inmates are treated. They don't have to stick to any type of governmental standards. They just kind of do whatever they want. And, that reality that a prison has never had to do a fundraiser in order to keep the doors open. But yet colleges and schools and after school programs are not making money at all. And they have to close down all the time. So it's like there's so much money being pumped into the beast, the satanic evil of imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
And if a Black man runs a traffic light, he'll get 20 years. If a white man runs a traffic light, he'll get probation. So there's these extreme kind of structures and infrastructure that's put in place to just make sure that we as a culture continue to live and survive while not really having too many positive resources to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
So, for all this work, I'm proud of you, sister, because for you to be doing this interview right now means that we were determined to have something and do something with our lives and our careers, because the prison pipeline and us all being broke and living in poverty and living at the bottom, it's just kind of normal.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to work so much harder to have anything. And you got to have a lot of audacity to say, this is what I want for my life, my children. And yet you're up against all of these obvious things just because of your skin.
Yeah.
So I also think that Black people have been in prison for so long, there's just a generation of people out here that just literally don't care. They just like, people need help. They don't need to be locked up, And if you do something stupid, if you murder, you molest, you rape, you attack, you do something, you shoot, kill somebody, yeah, you deserve time. Yeah, you're supposed to go deal with the consequences. I'm not saying Black people are immune from consequences, but you know, it's really crazy how the system is really set up to make sure that we live and function in the bottom.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did the movie, you know. Um, my goal is to just activate the sensitivities of Black men who may be thinking about doing something stupid, and they see this movie and be like, oh, hell no. Then there's gonna be some people that be like, man, if they doing this in jail, I can't wait to go to jail. It all depends on where things land for you. So I don't know. We're living in a different world right now. Pretty crazy.
I know. And I appreciate films like this and even just the work that you do. You've always been a champion of representing, just sending messages through your art for Black men. And as a Black woman, and I have three brothers, they have all been in the system. One of them is still there. And a lot of times, mainstream just society forgets about these people. It is a lot of more mental health than most things that can be aided and helped to help these people, but instead they're just put in these environments that is only going to continue the mental cycle that keeps them enslaved. And now they're what's the word,
Institutionalized.
institutionalized. Yes, yes. But thank you. I hope that my brother's able to watch it on the TV that they share, like it's messages that it can help them. Because there a lot of them are looking for inspiration in there, and they're often forgot about. Um, what do you want audience to take from the system, from this movie?
I just want people to go, it is a movie. I want people to be entertained. I want them to laugh. I want them to think. I want them to cry. I want them to think about the vulnerabilities of having, your mother, grandmother sick, and you as a man just being helpless and you're locked up and you can't go out there to do anything. I mean, and then, I just really hope that something about the discomfort and the vulnerabilities that we put into this film will have someone to make the decision like, yo, I was about to say or do something real stupid and I don't want to do that because it made it so clear that they're uncomfortable in there. No. And so it's kind of a deterrent, but again, me and Terrence Howard and Jeremy Piven and all of the discomfort that we're displaying, I just hope that it has an impact. I hope it activates certain sensitivities in people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on a mission to try and get every privately owned prison and most prisons shut down because it's just so much bad stuff going on. At the same time, there's a lot of really bad people. And the reason that they were taken from society is because they made some really bad choices and they need to deal with those consequences. But putting us in a cage and making all this money off of us individually as inmates versus pumping that money from the government into better education, mental health,
Yes.
and prevention programs,
Mm-hmm.
giving folks jobs, letting them just like do something to earn a living. Because at the end of the day, it's all about survival. And if you know what I know about surviving, you do whatever it takes to make sure you and your family is okay.
Mm-hmm. Studies and statistics even show from other countries the effects, the low rates of recidivism that they have from implementing mental health resources and creating just more supportive environments in their prisons for their inmates. And here, where we have way more people incarcerated than other countries, they're putting them in there and nothing. They're getting no counseling. They might only talk to someone just like a PO when it's a court date coming up. And it's like, again, they're left out there and they're forgotten about, and our tax dollars are paying for it. What would you say that if there's more that we can do on our end as society of people who care, what would you want us to feel prompted to do?
I mean, I know what I'm gonna do. If I win the lottery, 700 million right now, I'm gonna take 20 of that 70 and try and put 500 different men and women, Black and brown people, through law school to become lawyers, to become DAs, to become judge or judges, to get in certain positions politically, because it's really hard for us to change anything if we don't have a seat at the table. So that's just kind of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just going back to the movie, because you mentioned, Terrence Howard and Jeremy Piven, and I know your roles, the roles were so intense. What was it like working with them? And then in between scenes, when you guys were having to have these interactions, especially with Jeremy Piven, what were the conversations like you were having to kind of bring it back in?
Well, Jeremy Piven and I, meaning our characters, we were cordial, but most of our communication was us just trying to make each other uncomfortable so that it showed up on camera. And I didn't want to like chummy and become buddies with him on set, because I know that his character was there to harm me and do wrong by me, and had been doing wrong by Terrence Howard's character, Bones. So, we were professional, we kept it cordial, but we knew that we were all in our own head space and we knew what we were there to do. And that's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this film, it's coming out, The System. And is there well, you were mentioning what your plans are in regards to combating mass incarceration. How can we support you in that? What should we look out for?
Well, here's the thing. I'm either going to wait to hit the lottery, or I'm going to start doing something to put some type of a fund together,
Mm-hmm.
and just get as many people as I can to donate, so that we can just get a full list of Black and brown people that's ready to go to law school on a full scholarship, and have their mission to be on their mind, like, pass that bar exam and let's get in there and let's start shifting culture. Like I said, we can't do shit. We don't have a seat at the table. So
Right. Tyrese, powerful light in our community that's very appreciated and needed. I want to support you in that initiative. Trust me, I really do, because it's a passion of mine. Prison reform is a passion of mine, from my personal experiences with my family. And now more than ever, I mean, it's always been now the time, but now's the time where we can do something. We can use our voices and our resources. And we're seeing more now that the lack of power in the Black community. So it's time to power up. So thank you.
thank you. I appreciate you.